Hello friends, I welcome you in this video. In this video, I am going to tell you about the new course that I am going to teach you on Economic Survey and the Budget 2019. So this is the course explainer. First of all, this course will be relevant both for the mains examination as well as the prelims examination, because Economic Survey and the budget both are relevant at both the stages. I'll be covering the volume 1, volume 2 both in detail. Volume 1 is more relevant for the mains examination and volume 2 is more relevant for the prelims examination. I'll also be covering the detailed analysis of the budget 2019. And when I say detailed analysis, that does not mean that I'll just be explaining what has been given in the budget and the economic survey. I'll be explaining the logic behind why any measure has been introduced and what is the opinion of experts on that particular initiative. So are experts appreciating it, or are expert criticizing it? So I will tell you everything. In this course, I will integrate all the important editorials from the newspapers like Hindu, Live Mint and Indian Express. So between the date of introduction of budget, that is 5th of July, and the economic survey, that is 4th of July, till the 10th of July, there will be a lot of editorials that will be coming up in these three newspapers. So I will be picking up the views of different people over the budget as well as the economic survey, and I can give you the example. For example, this is one of the initiative that now the FPI, foreign portfolio investors, have been allowed to invest in the government bonds, right? So what is the implication of that? The positive implication is that more amount will flow into the domestic market and it will reduce the interest rate, because when the money supply is more, then definitely the cost of money, that is interest rate, will automatically come down, as well as the bond yields also come down, which are directly correlated to the interest rate. And when in the domestic market, the foreign funds will be coming and they will require the rupee to invest into Indian market. So the demand of Indian rupee will increase and the rupee will become strong. So rupee will get strong. So this is the positive implication of this measure. Now, what is the negative impact of this measure? So there is a risk, not exactly the impact. The risk is that in case of any global crisis, there is a possibility that there can be sudden outflow, because FPI are the hot money. They are also called as the fly by night money. And this hot money, if it is going suddenly from India, it can have the impact over the rupee value. So rupee value can get down immediately, and also it can impact the current account deficit, because it will have the adverse impact over the import and the exports. So this is how I'll be interlinking all the government initiatives with the critical analysis. Then economic survey and budget, both documents are given by the Ministry of Finance only. And if we see the sequence, first it is the economic survey and then it is the budget which is produced by the government. There is some interlinking. So we have to trace the interlinking, because only once we trace the interlinking, we can establish the logical reason why certain initiatives have been taken in the budget. For example, if we see in the agriculture sector, right? So this type of interlinking I'll be doing sector wise. I will make different lessons on every sector. For example, in the agriculture sector, I'll make one lesson. On the industrial sector, I will make separate lesson. On the infrastructure, I will make separate lesson. So when you have the sector wise lesson, you can revise your economy from your basics and go to my lesson of that particular chapter, and you can update your notes through that particular video. So this will be the strategy. Now coming back to the interlinking portion. So what I'll be doing, I will establish the relationship between the economic survey and the budget. For example, in the agriculture sector, economic survey clearly mentioned that fertilizer response ratio has been declining because there has been excessive use of the chemical fertilizer and the land and the water productivity has come down, right? Therefore, we should introduce organic and natural farming, and the best thing will be zero budget natural farming, which can improve the efficiency of the water as well as the fertility of the soil. And on the very next day, after this point was given in the economic survey, on the very next day, the budget came up with the exclusive statement that we are going to give the push to the zero budget natural farming. What is zero budget natural farming? So budget here means there is no expenses, and natural means that it is completely aligned with the nature. Right? So why no expenses? Because there is no use of chemical fertilizer, chemical pesticide. And why natural? Because it is based upon the traditional practices, and this practice was introduced recently in India by the Subhash Palelkar, right? So this is how we will be interlinking the economic survey logic and the initiative of the government. So whenever you are writing any answer in the mains examination on this particular topic, you can start your answer. In the introduction, you can give that fertilizer response ratio has been declining over the time. Therefore, this zero budget natural farming is required, and the budget has introduced this initiative at the right time. If you give such kind of logic in your introduction with a complete reference to the government documents, believe me friends, your introduction will be unique, your answer will be unique, and you will get 1 extra marks in your examination. Then I'll also be discussing the various basic concepts then come across during the discussion. For example, angel tax issue has been there regarding the startups. So what is this angel tax and what is the government initiative in the budget? I'll discuss that. What is the difference between headline inflation and core inflation? And what are their trends over a period of time? I'll discuss that very slowly. Very slowly I will discuss every concept. And similarly, the difference between CPI and WPI. And not only the difference, I will also discuss the proposed changes. For example, we are now thinking of replacing the WPI with the PPI, Producer Price Index. Then I'll also be giving the study material on every topic, and the study material will be having just 2 to 3 pages with a complete analysis. And the purpose of this study material is that you have something in your hand which you can revise at the examination time. Then there are a lot of statements, phrases, quotations that come into the budget and economic survey which you can utilize in your examination. For example, Nari tu Narayanani. This is one of the very famous slogan which has been introduced by this budget. So when there is a question on the gender budgeting, women empowerment, there is an essay or there is a question on the GS paper 1, you can utilize this statement very simply. Similarly, about the facts on the operating ratio of railways. If you know that operating ratio of railway has been more than 95%, then you can interlink with any of the relevant answer. So for example, there is a question in the General Studies paper 3 that railway investment have been declining. What should be the way out? Critically comment, 15 marks, 250 words. So you can start your answer by saying that the recent budget clearly highlighted that operating ratio of railways has been consistently above 95%, which indicates that railways do not have the surplus to invest and it is dependent upon the government, and the government itself is short of funds. Therefore, we require the public-private partnership. And the budget 2019 has rightly introduced this public-private partnership model in the railway track development, rolling stock manufacturing, and the passenger freight services. So when you give this kind of introduction, which is giving reference to the economic survey and the budget and the interlinking between two, and not only interlinking between the two initiatives but more than two initiatives, like I have interlinked the operating ratio and the logic of PPP. So this is how you can maximize your marks in the examination. And friends, as I told you that this economic survey is very, very important for the prelims also. So I'll be coming up with 100 high quality MCQs from this survey, right? And I have already given you the example here. You can study it. And such type of high quality questions I'll be giving. For example, there are the questions on the trend of tax receipts. There is a question on trends of the fiscal deficit. There is the question on the trends of the inflation. So all those trend type of question I'll be giving. So for example, here the question is on decline in the investment rate has been greater than the decline in the savings rate. This is a question on the trend. So this type of question they can ask in the form of statements. This survey is very, very important for the mains. In the mains examination, there can be questions, especially in those areas where the reforms have been very high. In the mains 2017, there was a direct question from the budget theme. In mains 2018, there was a question on capital gain tax introduced by the budget 2018. So in the future, I'll identify the top most 20 themes which are relevant for the mains 2019 and the mains 2020. And I'll be explaining the questions as well as the model answers, right? So I have given you the sample question. For example, tax base in India is very low. Discuss this statement. So we have to give the tax base, that is tax to GDP ratio in India as per the budget 2019-20, which is approximately 11.8%. So we have to start our answer with this fact from the budget itself. And then we have to discuss why the tax base is low because of the different supply factors, demand factors, and other factors. And then we will discuss the different kind of tax reforms which have been carried out during this budget. For example, the faceless e-assessment. For example, interchanging the PAN number and the Aadhaar number. For example, the pre-filled electronic income tax return. So when we start writing such answers and we give reference to the official document, our answer becomes unique. So friends, these are some logistical things that I'm telling you. You can increase your prelims marks by 10 and mains marks by 20 if you attend this course. And the total duration of this course will be just 18 hours. So effectively you can cover this course in just 2 days, and you can become the master and be exam ready for the economic survey and the budget. 100% this will be the online classes, and there are 3 times views you can have in your dashboard, and 100% UPSC exam oriented will be there so that you can maximize your marks. You can join this course at just ₹1,000. However, the worth is 5,000, but I am offering you at just 1,000 and plus the government tax of 18%. So the total cost comes as 1180. You can join this course by going to the courses section, and there IAS mains courses. So there you will find the economic survey and budget 2019 course, or we have also given the link at the bottom of this video. You can go there, bottom of this video. Or if you have any particular doubt regarding the course duration, anything, you can personally message me at my WhatsApp number. This is my WhatsApp number, and I will clarify your doubt. So thank you very much. Stay happy, stay learning. Have a nice day.